everybody, we are going to be doing a body weight mat Pilates class today. So you just need like a yoga mat, something comfortable to do some floor work on, and no props or anything. Maybe grab some water or a towel if you want that, but we are going to start on just seated on the mat, okay? So go ahead and take a seat. You're going to be sitting up nice and tall, hands back behind the thighs, wide elbows. So big inhale. Tuck the tailbone under. Slowly roll your spine down onto the ground. We're going to roll back so that we have the shoulder blades up off the ground. So the upper back is lifted, chest is curled forward over the rib cage. We're going to just pull that right knee into the chest. Have the left hand on the knee there and the right hand on the ankle, and you'll straighten your left leg out to 45. So it's in a little hover above the ground, and we're lifted up over the rib cage. We're holding that. So big inhale there. You're going to switch. Pull the left leg in, right leg long, and switch. Okay, so take that slow at first. Just start with that. Pointed toes, tightening up all the muscles in the legs. Reaching the foot further away from you as you go. Okay, breathing. So it's going to be an inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. So long inhale for both legs, long exhale. Okay. You guys are doing great. So tightening up all the muscles in those legs. Your head can always be down if you're having like neck or back issues here at all. You can always rest the head down, relax the neck. Okay. Go ahead and pull both these in. Let your head and chest come down for a moment. Take a breath there. Let your head just turn side to side, relaxing the neck. And then looking to center here, we're going to nod the chin and come up again. So inhale, chin towards the chest. Exhale, curl the chest up. Hold that lift. Shoulder blades are up off the ground. Both arms are going to reach back towards the wall behind you without your chest dropping. Both legs are going to extend forward. Circle the arms around to pull the knees in, knees into the chest. You'll end up in that small ball. Try to come up a little bit higher if you dropped. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, circle pull. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good, one more. All right, go ahead and relax down. You can extend those legs straight up to the ceiling and turn the legs out. So toes and knees turn out. You have Pilates V, heels together, toes apart. That turnout is happening from the hips. Just relax the arms into the ground beside you. And we're going to lower the legs a few inches, maybe half a foot towards the ground, and then lift the legs back up to that 90-degree angle. So here we want the low back imprinting, pressing down into the ground. Neck is soft. Shoulders are relaxed down the back. You want to make sure that your back isn't arching or hurting as you lower the legs. So you're only taking the legs as low as is okay for you to keep your back pressed down. Keep that imprinted spine. And then we want to be using those low abdominals to help lift the legs each time. Okay guys, one more lift here. Good. And then turn the legs parallel. We're going to bring the hands back behind the thighs. Curl the chest up over the ribs again here. We're holding that lift. We're going to take the hands up to the back of the left leg, to the calf or the ankle, and gently lower that right leg down towards the ground. Use your arms and pulling that leg in to help you lift up a little bit higher. You can flex the feet if that feels good. We're going to pull that left leg in, just like a double pull, and then switch the legs out, little pull, little pull. So just alternating, one leg in at a time, using your low abs to help you pull the leg closer to you. One more each side. Okay, go ahead and hug both knees and relax the head and chest down. So going back to more of the basic low ab work, we're going to do some leg lifts here. So again, imprint your low back into the mat, arms relax. Separate the feet and the knees just hips distance apart. We're gonna bring the right foot down to the ground, just tap the foot, pull the leg back up. Bring the left foot down, tap the foot, pull it back up. So low back is imprinted here still, and we wanna make sure that you're only lowering each leg as much as you can without lifting the back. So if your back does start to lift, arch, or is in any pain, just take the leg a little bit lower. Don't take it as, not as low. Don't take it as close to the ground as you have been. Use the low abs. They should really be firing up here. Really use the core to help lift the leg up each time. Alright guys, on this next one we're going to zip up the inner thighs, hinge through the hips, both feet come down, exhale. Use the abs to pull the legs back up. So thinking about cinching the waist in. Pull the belly button deeper into the back body. 2 more. Okay, we'll extend those legs straight up to the ceiling one more time. Point the toes. Separate, open your arms out to either side of the room just a bit. Not all the way to your T, but like a V shape with the arms. They're still on the ground. We're gonna let the legs fall to the right. Let the left hip lift away from the ground a bit. Use your obliques to draw the legs back through center, left hip down, and then legs to the left, right hip lifts. Use those side abs to draw the legs back to center. Okay, 1 more each side like this. Alright guys, go ahead and bend the knees. You can bring one foot down at a time. We're going to extend the legs straight out. Flex the feet so the legs are long on the ground. You're reaching the heels away from the body. You can bring the arms close to you again on either side of the hips. Pull the right knee into the chest, point the toes, and extend that leg straight up to the ceiling. We're going to externally rotate that leg, turning the toes and knee out. Inhale, take the leg across the body. We'll circle it down towards the ground, out to the right, up and back to center. Inhale across, down, around and up. So exhale as the leg circles. This one's really tricky, lots of stability. We want to do our best to keep the hips and the pelvis level and stable as we are circling the leg around. So as much as you can, lots of core strength is going to help you to keep the hips from rocking side to side. Go ahead and switch direction. So we'll take the right leg out now, down, around and up. Out to the right, down towards the ground, across the body a bit, and then up to 90. On this one, you can always make the circle smaller if you are feeling unstable, if the pelvis is rocking side to side, if you're kind of wiggling all over the place, try making the circles a little bit smaller. So this is meant to be more of a quicker movement, but you can hug the knee into the chest now. Just to get the sake of the position, the form, we'll start with slower movements, and then later on we can pick up the pace a little bit. You can take that knee across the body towards the left shoulder. Stretch the hip out. And then take the knee towards the right shoulder. Okay, switch the legs out this time. So right leg long, flex the foot. Left knee pulls into the chest, extend the leg straight up, point the toes, externally rotate, turning the toes and knee out to the side. Inhale, we're going to take that leg across the body. Exhale, circle it down, around and up. Inhale across, exhale, circle. So we want to keep those abs turned on to help keep the hips and pelvis nice and still. Make sure that breath is moving with you. One more in this direction. And we'll switch. Inhale out to the side, exhale down, around and up. Inhale out. So it's kind of a slow out, click down, around and up. One more. Give that knee a big hug into the chest. Compress the hip. Take the knee to that right shoulder across the body. And then out to the left. Okay, so both legs are going to be long here. Extend both legs out, reach the heels away from you, flex the feet. I'm going to reach the arms back to the wall behind me as well. So if you have room to do that, readjust if you need to. We're going to go into a full roll up here. So zip up the inner thighs, root the backs of the calves into the ground. Big inhale. We're going to nod the chin towards the chest. Lift the arms. Curl the chest up over the rib cage. Exhale. Come forward. Scoop the abs in. Reach for your feet at the top. Fold forward over the legs. Slowly roll down. One bone at a time. Tuck the tailbone under. Low back comes down onto the mat first, then the mid back, then the upper back. Exhale all the way to the bottom, reaching those arms back. Inhale, arms up, nod the chin in, curl the chest forward over the rib cage. That part's a little bit shaky. Scoop those abs in. Exhale, reach for the feet. Forward fold. We're just going to do 2 more like this, okay? You can't see my legs very well, but they're straight out. They're super long and energized and imprinting into the ground. Exhale, reach. All right, just this last one. Inhale. Exhale as you scoop the abs. Use the core to help you come up and forward. Reach for the feet. Let the back stretch out. You can grab onto the calves or the backs of the feet. Relax for a moment. All right, guys, we're going to do some seated twist oblique work. So you're sitting tall. We're going to open the legs out the width of the mat, okay? So again, it's not the best view here that you have, but your feet are the width of the mat, so kind of in a V shape in front of you. Flex the feet, pull the toes back towards your body. Hands are going to be on top of the shoulders, wide elbows. You're sitting up as tall as you can, so try not to slouch through that low back. Lift the ribs up away from the hips. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, we'll twist to the right. Little pulse to that side. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Good. So, every time you rotate, we're trying to really cinch the waist in and blow all the air out on that twist. Okay, we're going to add on to this movement. So I'm going to go to the right again. We'll take the arms out. You're going to twist right. You're going to fold forward, reaching the left hand to that right foot. Head down, long neck. Back palm faces up to the ceiling so that you can reach the arms in opposition away from each other. Get the back stretched out. Unfold, untwist. Exhale, twist left. Fold forward, reach that right hand past the left foot. Inhale. Unfolding, untwisting. Exhale. Inhale. Sitting tall. Exhale, rotate. Inhale. Exhale. So, picking the pace up once you get the fluid movement of that. So we're really wringing out the internal organs here. The air, blowing all of the air out on those exhales. We're in as much of a twist and a stretch on that forward fold as we can be. One more to the left. All right, guys, come through center. Let those arms come down. Shake that out a little bit. Maybe roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Bring the feet a little bit closer towards each other. So now your feet are hips width apart. So about a fist distance, maybe a little bit wider stance. And just straightforward, feet in front of the hips. Okay, so from there, arms reach straight forward, you're sitting tall, big inhale. As you exhale this time, you're just gonna pull your mid back towards the wall behind you. So not leaning forward or leaning back. Your shoulders stay stacked over your hips and you're rounding the spine. So you're pulling the mid back towards the wall behind you. You're scooping those low abs in, okay? And then inhale, restacking. Lifting the ribs up away from the hips, sitting tall. Exhale, rounding. Belly button pulls in and up under the ribs. You can lift down a bit. Inhale, stick the tailbone out, lengthen through the spine, lift the chest up towards the ceiling. Exhale, round. Inhale, restack. This is a really simple or subtle movement, but it's not easy, okay? So if you're doing it right, it should be tough just to sit in this position and be changing the shape in the spine like that. Belly button pulls into the back body, round. Inhale. One more. Exhale. Okay. Go ahead and let those arms come down. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. All right, you guys. I'm gonna have you recline back onto your forearms now. So elbows back underneath the shoulders. Forearms are on the ground on the mat. We're gonna imprint that low back into the ground as well. So scoop the abs in, low back rounds. Take your left leg straight out to about a 45-degree angle, higher if you need to. And then we're gonna attach the inside of the right foot to the inside of the left knee, over about that area, okay? Right leg bent, left leg straight. We're gonna lower the legs towards the mat, lift the legs up using the low abs. Inhale down, exhale lift. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, just 3 more here. Really nice, you guys. Last one. We're gonna switch the legs out. Right leg straight, left leg bends, foot to the inside of that right knee. Down and up. So the legs move as one piece. They move together. They're connected. You're using those low abdominals to help you lift that leg up. That low back is imprinted into the ground, into the mat. Or at least pulling towards it. The back of the mat will be pressed down all the way, but make sure that it's pulling towards the mat and you're not in a flat back or arching. Last 2. Okay, bend the knees in. So we're gonna bring the feet down. Let yourself for a moment come into an arched back. You can open the chest up, let your head drop back. Take a breath, only if that feels good. And then nod the chin towards the chest again. Come back into that rounded spine. We're gonna point the toes, lift the heels. So just the toes are on the mat here. And then you're gonna lift those legs up and tap the knees to the ground on the right side. And we're gonna take the feet up and over to the left, tap the knees on the left. Okay, so up and over to the right, tap, up and over to the left, tap. So it's just your legs mainly moving side to side here. We want to stay rounded through the spine as much as we can. And we want to be using those side abdominals. So lots of core strength going on, those obliques working hard. All right, one more each side. All right, back to center, bring the feet down. I'm gonna have you lay down all the way for a bridge. So you can keep the legs bent, keep the feet close to you. Feet are gonna be hips distance apart though, so separate the feet and the knees, relax the arms into the mat. Make sure your neck is soft, make sure your shoulders are down the back. Tuck the tailbone under. Exhale, squeeze the glutes, hamstrings to roll the hips up into that nice high bridge. So spine is lifted away from the mat. We're gonna pull that right leg up into tabletop and lengthen the leg to the ceiling. and we're gonna pulse the hips up and down a couple inches. So right leg is super straight, toes are pointed, hips are level and lifted. And then from there, hold the lift, flex the foot. We're gonna lower that right leg down to where it meets the left knee, point the toes to kick the leg up. Flex the foot to lower, pointed toes kick. Exhale as you lift the leg, inhale to lower it. One more here. Good, everybody, we're gonna keep this leg lifted. We're gonna roll the spine down with the leg lifted and roll back up. Roll down, roll up. One more. Okay, bend that knee gently, bring the foot back down. Roll the spine down here. Readjust if you need to, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So tucking the tailbone under, rolling the hips and spine up, bring that left leg up into tabletop, make sure those hips stay even. Straighten the leg to the ceiling. Little pulses up and down, pointed toes on that left foot, leg is super energized, all those muscles are working hard. We're working through the back of that right leg to help us pulse up each time. And then we're gonna hold that lift, flex the foot, lower the leg down to where it meets that right knee, point the toes, kick it up. Good, inhale, flex, lower, exhale, point, kick. All right, guys, go ahead and keep that leg lifted, roll the spine down, roll back up, roll down, roll up. Okay, go ahead and roll down, bend that knee, bring the foot down. One more time, we're gonna come up into your bridge, just to even out, and then as you roll down, think about reaching the tailbone away from your upper back so you come down nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time with control. Good, okay, and releasing the tailbone at the bottom. You can rock your knees side to side. Okay, guys, go ahead and grab onto the backs of the thighs. Rock yourselves up to seated. If you need to do that in a few rocks, that's totally fine. You can, take your time with that. Okay, I'm gonna have you turn onto your side, sitting to the side with the legs to one side. Okay, so you'll have your right foot, right heel connected to the right glute. That leg is bent out to the right. Your left leg is also bent. Your foot is going to be in front of your right thigh. Okay, so it's a mermaid. The legs are like zigzag to one side. Mermaid position. Right hand comes down to the ground, right next to that right shin. Reach the left arm up and over, big side stretch. And we'll take it the other way as well. Left hand down to the ground, right arm reaches up and over. Big deep breath. Okay, one more time to the right. Good, one more to the left. And we'll take both hands over to the right. And if you can, gently rotate from underneath the ribs, twist the chest to that side, big deep breath. And then you can untwist, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So we're just going to switch the legs around. So left heel close to the left glute, right foot in front of the left thigh. Left hand comes down to the ground, right beside that left shin, reach the right arm up and over, big side stretch. Good, and then left hand, right hand down, left arm reaches up and over, so we go the other way. Okay, one more each side. Okay, both hands over to the left, gently twist towards that left leg. Okay, and then you can untwist. I'm going to have you guys come down onto your stomachs next. I'm going to tilt the computer down a little bit so you guys can maybe see me better. Okay, so You're gonna be laying on the belly. Hands are gonna be right underneath your shoulders on either side of you. Elbows point straight back to the wall behind you. Lift your abs up into your back and just let the legs be relaxed, but squeeze into the glutes so that the muscles are still turned on. Take a big inhale, lift your head up, lift the chest. As you exhale, push into the hands. Use your arm strength to help you lift up a little bit higher, as much as feels okay on your back, okay? It might not be very high, and that's okay. Try to keep those elbows pulled in towards the ribs. Gently come down, belly comes down first, then the chest, then the head. Same thing, we'll go through this a few times, okay? Inhale, lift the head up. Lift the chest, exhale, use the strength of the arms. Triceps should be working pretty hard here. Roll back down slow, belly down first, chest down, head down. Okay, inhale, eyes up. Exhale, using the arm strength to help us lift. Make sure at the top here, your arms don't have to be straight. Mine are bent, they're not usually straight. Make sure that your shoulders are down the back when you are at the highest point there, and that your back is not hurting. So if you feel like you have to have your shoulders up towards your ears at the top of that movement, you don't. So you don't have to lift as high, just go to where it's comfortable for you. Alright guys, we're gonna test one here without the hands. So hover the hands just off the mat. They're still close to the shoulders. We're gonna lift the eyes up on your inhale. Lift the chest, use your abs. Lift as high as you're able to without the use of the arms. This is about where I'm at. And then, so you can just feel where you would be without the arm work. And then let's place those hands onto the ground and allow yourself to come up a little bit higher. So just feeling the difference between the two may be helpful feedback. Okay, go ahead and roll down. We're gonna do some swimming. So abs lift up into the back body. Lift the thighs gently away from the ground. Reach the arms straight out in front of you. Lift your chest as well. So whole body ideally is somewhat lifted. We're going to start to just flutter the arms and the legs. So little flutters, squeezing the glutes and the hamstrings. Reaching the toes along to the wall behind us. Reaching the fingers along to the wall in front of us. Big deep breaths. Last 3. Okay, go ahead and gently rest down. Left ear to the mat. Bend your elbows wide on either side. Arms are bent. Just relaxing down. Breathe into that low back. One more breath. Okay, great job, you guys. We're going to prop ourselves up into a little cobra position here. So elbows are going to be right underneath your shoulders. Shoulders are not up towards the ears here. We're going to lift up out of that, shoulders down and back, chest open, abs are lifted. We're going to point the toes. We're going to pull that right heel close to the right glute, bending knee and pulse, pulse, lengthen. Left heel, pulse, pulse, lengthen, okay? So one leg at a time, you're kicking that heel in towards the glute, straightening the leg out from there. Let's try flexing the feet on this next one. Flex. You can point as you let the leg rest down. If that's too much coordination, no worries. You can just keep the toes pointed, okay? It's kind of a lot. Okay, one more each side. Good, okay. Let's come up into a little plank. So we're gonna lift the hips. Once you have some lift, you can tuck the toes under, lift the knees, find that nice long plank line on your forearms. Abs are lifted up into the back body, big deep breaths, we're holding it, super strong core. If you can, add movement Dip the right hip down, level the hips out, and then dip the left hip down. So you're tipping the pelvis side to side, cinching the waist in, using those core muscles. One more each side. All right, gently press, bring the knees down. You can push back into your child's pose, hips all the way back to your heels. Let your head relax down. Just breathe here. Okay, guys, we'll come back up into that all fours position, hands and knees. So you're gonna tuck the toes under, lift the knees an inch or two up off the mat, and we're gonna extend the right leg straight back, step it in, left leg back, step it in. So one leg steps back at a time. You're not lifting the hips higher than you were where you started. You're gonna keep the hips level, right, in line with the shoulder girdle, nice flat back. We're just straightening that leg straight back, but do our best to keep the hips low. Last one each side here. Good, rest the knees down. Little cat-cow, head up, chest open, tailbone sticks out. Exhale, round. Inhale, release. Exhale, round. One more. Okay, we're gonna try some push-ups here. So widen the hands a bit. I'm gonna do push-ups with my knees down for this set. You can always be in full plank if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, okay? So wide elbows as you lower the chest towards the ground. Big exhale, push up. Inhale, lower. Exhale. Inhale. Good, so keep the abs lifted up into the back body. Nice strong core. Keep the back of the neck long. Last two. Good, lower the feet. So the hips all the way back. Walk the hands over to the right corner, letting the left side of the body stretch out a little bit more. And then just walk the hands across gently to the left corner of the mat. Let the right side open up. All right, guys. Walk the hands back to the knees. You're going to lift up into a tall kneeling position. We're going to cross the right forearm over the left. We're going to sit the hips halfway back to the heels. So it's a little sit back and then lift the hips up. Okay, so hinging through the hips, sitting back and up. Squeezing through the backs of the legs, keeping the core turned on. Breathing. On this next one, we're going to hold that hinge back. We're going to tuck the tailbone under and release the tuck. Squeeze the glutes and the hamstrings. Scoop the abs in as you tuck. Good. Go ahead and lift the hips. Let those arms come out and down. Okay. We're going to stand up. Come up for some standing work. So I'm going to move my computer a little bit so you guys can see me better. And once you're standing, we'll go into a moving lunge. Okay, so we're going to do a forward lunge. Your hands can be on your hips. We're going to step the right foot forward, bend into that front leg, knee over the ankle. And then from there, you're going to bend that back knee, lower it towards the ground, lift it back up. Okay, lower it towards the ground, lift it back up. So just a little tough to balance. Keep the torso upright. Make sure you are looking forward so that you are keeping your balance. That'll help. One more bend and lengthen. Okay, gently pitch the torso forward, step your back foot forward, and we'll switch the legs out. So So left foot forward, right foot back. Back leg is straight, your front leg is bent. You're bending your back knee to come down and up. So the back leg is the mover. The front leg might move a little bit just in the response and the reaction to the back leg moving, but the back leg is doing the work, okay? So that's where you want the effort coming from. Okay, one more. All right, gently pitch forward, step that foot forward, shake the legs out a little bit. All right, we're gonna do some balance work. So a little bit of a bend into the knees. You're gonna step your right leg straight back. You're on your right foot, okay? Or your left foot is what you're standing on. Your right leg is extended back and the toes are pointed. So just the toes of your right foot are on the ground. Reach the arms down to the floor. We're gonna keep a flat back. We're gonna pitch the torso forward. Start to lift the right leg, hinge through the left hip to allow yourself to do this. Torso moves forward. As you squeeze through the back of your left leg, your torso comes up and your right toes tap down. Okay, inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, lifts you back up. Okay, so you don't have to go as far forward as I am or anybody else is. You're only leaning forward as much as feels okay for your body and to where you can keep the form. So what we want is the hips are pointing down towards the ground as we hinge. We have one long straight line from the crown of the head all the way back to that right heel or the right toes. And we're keeping, mostly balanced and stable in that left hip and leg. Okay, guys. Go ahead and switch the legs out. So those ones are pretty tough. You can always just pitch forward a couple inches. It doesn't have to be a huge movement. Those balance moves are pretty hard if you're just starting to. So bend into the right knee a little bit, left leg straight back, point the toes, reach towards the ground. We're gonna hinge through the right hip, pitch the torso forward. Make sure you're keeping a flat back. You're not rounding the spine to help you move further forward. Okay. So keeping form, only moving as far forward as you can, keeping that back flat. Left leg is super straight and energized. So think about as the torso pitches forward, the left leg just automatically moves with it. It's as if they're one long piece, they're connected. Okay, one more on this side. Left leg is lifting. Okay, bring the left foot down. Shake that up a little bit. All right, guys, so we're gonna do a little bit more balance, like hip work here. So feet or hips width apart, just a little bit of a bend into the knees. Arms can be relaxed, palms forward if that feels good. You're gonna take the right foot just about a half a foot or so forward in front of you. Point the toes so that just the toes are on the ground, the heel's lifted. Bend into that leg. We're gonna pull the knee up in front of the hip and just gently reach the leg long towards the floor, tap the toes. Use the low abdominals every time to pull that knee up. So your hip flexor, here the hip will be doing a lot of the work, but we want to do our best to really engage the core and use the low abs to help with that hip lift, with the knee lifting. We're going to pull the knee up and hold it. So now, make sure your left leg is slightly bent, you're not locked out. Your right knee draws across the body a few inches and then back to center. So the right knee moves over to the left and back to center. You want your hips to be facing the wall in front of you the whole time. So make sure that when you draw that knee across the body, you're not letting the hips twist. You're not rotating them. 2 more. Okay, and then we're going to take the right knee out to the right and back to center. This one's a little bit harder with that whole twisting concept. So to keep the hips squared off to the wall in front of you. Just be very aware of where the different parts of your body are at the moment. Doing your best to only open the knee out to the side as much as it can go without moving anything else in the body. 2 more. All right, guys, bring that right foot down. Whew, shake that out a little bit. That one was really tough for that left side. Okay, so we'll figure 4 stretch before we move on. You can always do this seated or laying down on your back if you need to. I'm just going to do it standing because I can, but if you need to hold on to something. We're crossing the left ankle over the right thigh. We're sitting the hips down and back, and you want that left side to get stretched out here, hip and glute. Definitely hold on to a wall or a table if you need to. Otherwise, you can do this seated or laying down on your back. And then gently come up, uncrossing the legs. So same thing, other side. Okay, now we're standing on the right leg is our stabilizer. A little bit of a bend into that knee, stand tall, open the chest up, shoulders down and back. Point the left foot toes, straighten that leg a little bit further in front of the body. We're gonna pull that knee up to hip height in front of the hip. Inhale, lengthen the leg down towards the ground again, point the toes. Exhale. Good, bending into that left knee, pulling the knee up in front of the hip. And if you really focus on the core, you can maybe get into those low abdominals. Have them help out a little bit. Okay, you guys, last 4. We're going to hold the next lift. Take the knee across the body and back to center. So using the inner thigh to draw the knee across the body and just working through that hip. Still using those abdominals to help. It's a small movement. All right, everybody go ahead and switch. Take it out to the left, back to center. Left knee out to the side, back to center. Last 3. All right, back down. Shake those legs out a little bit. You can do little prances, lifting one heel at a time. Let that area relax. All right, guys. We're going to step into a nice wide second position with the feet. So the feet are either shoulder width apart or even a little bit wider. They're turned out, toes and knees pointing out to either side of the room. You're going to bend into a low plie here. Bend the knees, sit down, torso upright. Okay. We're going to go into a reach across the body and a pivot off one heel. So you're going to reach and twist to the left. Reach that right arm across the body. Lift that right heel. Right leg is now straight. Your hips and your shoulders are rotated. We're going to come back down to center. Come low into that plie. Twist. Reach across the body to the right. Inhale. Exhale. Good. So every time you rotate, your hips, your shoulders, your chest, everything turns with you. That back heel rotates as well and lifts. So just the toes are on the ground. The front foot that you're twisting towards, that foot is down, it's flat. Really nice, you guys. You can pick the pace up once you get the movement, once you get the fluidity of it. Otherwise, you can stay slow. Just make sure you're in a controlled movement. Your form is really nice. You just want to be safe with our bodies. One more each side. Okay, good. Come low. We're going to hold here. Hands in front of the heart. Big deep breath. We're going to pulse those hips up and down, a couple inches. Just a few of these last 4. Good, and then lift through the thighs up away from the knees. You can wiggle those hips side to side a little bit. All right, we're gonna do some more upper body work down on the ground, and then we are almost done. We'll stretch after that. So moving that one more time for you guys. Go ahead and come down into an all fours position. And then from there, you can walk the knees back a little bit and come into that modified plank. So hips lean forward, one long line from the crown of the head to the knees, abs up into the back body. We're gonna come down onto our forearms, left elbow down, right elbow down, left arm up, right arm up. So arm walks, forearms to straight arms. You can do this in full plank if you want a little bit more of a challenge. So it's up to you what level you're at in this moment, in this day. And a little bit harder. Last two. Okay. Lower the feet, gently sit back into a child pose, hips to the heels, let your head drop down, big deep breath. Okay, we're gonna come back into that all fours position. We're gonna step the right foot back, lift the abs, step the left leg back. Make sure those thighs, backs of the thighs are lifted and energized, shoulders are down the back. We're just holding this plank here. And then we're gonna bend the right knee half an inch, straighten the leg, bend the left knee half an inch, straighten the leg. We're going right, left, right, left, right, left. We're gonna pick up that pace so it's just right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Super tiny, super quick, bending into the knees. You're alternating. It's really small and really fast, so I should barely even be able to see your knees bending. Not this, okay? Not a deep bend. Tiny, tiny, tiny. You're just kind of wiggling those legs. Okay, gently bring the knees down, sit back. We're gonna do one more set of those arm walks starting on the opposite arm. So last time we did left forearm down first. This time we're gonna do right forearm down first. Okay, so right, left, right, left. One more. All right, you guys, go ahead and relax the feet down. You can sit back for a moment. Okay, so go ahead and come to seated. We'll swing the legs just straight out in front of us. Stretch the legs out a little bit. So legs are together. We're gonna flex the feet, toes pulled back towards the shins. Walk your hands forward to the shins, or you can grab onto the backs of the thighs and just let your head drop down. Soft neck. Stretch the back out and think about opening up the hamstrings through the backs of the legs, reaching the heels away from the upper thighs. Okay, and then coming to sitting tall, we'll take the right leg out to the side, bring the left foot to the inside of that right thigh, reach for the outer edge of that right foot, reach the left arm up and over. So you're stretching out that left side body, but also your right side leg, inner thigh and hamstring. Breathing here, letting yourself relax into that stretch, and then carefully coming up and out of that. We'll switch sides. Left leg out to the left, right foot comes in, so that left thigh. So grabbing onto the outer edge of that left foot, right arm reaches up and over. Carefully coming up and out of that. We're going to do a little butterfly stretch here. So bring the bottoms of the feet together. Soles of the feet connect. Bring the heels as close to you as is comfortable. Some people like to just sit tall here and flutter the knees or something of that sort. You can, if that's enough for you, you can hold there. Otherwise, you can pitch forward, torso leans forward, hinging through the hips. I like to push my knees down a bit with my elbows or my hands. And that kind of intensifies the stretch. You could also try rocking side to side a little bit, so you can kind of play around with this one and see what feels good for you. this is to stretch your hips out, guys. So just making sure that you're getting into that stretch, okay? Let's do a quick hip flexor stretch. So we're gonna send the legs, the left leg back behind us. We're gonna have the right foot forward. Scoot the left knee back as much as you need to allow your hips to kind of lean forward, and then you get that stretch through the left hip. Okay, breathing there. Okay, and then we're just gonna switch that out. Right foot back, left foot forward, lean the hips forward. Big deep breath. Shoulders down. Go ahead and you can bring the knees back. You can sit however is comfortable. We're just going to do a little reach up of the arms. So big inhale, you're going to reach those arms out to either side of the room, up towards the ceiling. Reach up a little bit higher. Let the shoulders come up towards the ears, and then relax the shoulders down. You can open eyes, close eyes, whatever feels good, but you can let those arms come out and down, and then just roll the shoulders up, back and down. All right, you guys are all set today. Great job. Thanks for watching. See you next time.